What's good, y'all? It's Drew here, back with another collab. Today we have a very special guest, you know what I'm saying? So why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, I'm Eternal Flame. What's goody in the hoodie?
Today we're ranking the top 5 best curse techniques. On Eternal Flame's channel, we ranked the best 5 domain expansions, so that was pretty cool. So today, you know what I'm saying, we have to come with something a little bit harder, which is the curse techniques. But yeah, we can also jump right into the video.
Alrighty.
I'll give you the reins to start at 5.
Okay, so my number 5, and this is purely because we haven't seen everything from this set, but we have seen like more than enough, which is 10 Shadows for me. Purely because like the one caveat for 10 Shadows and why I'm only putting it at number 5 is the fact you actually have to be stronger than your Shikigami to tame it. And like you have to fight it to tame it.
Okay, at 5, I'm gonna go 10 Shadows. 10 Shadows is interesting because a lot of them are relative fodder when you really think about it. Like when you see how Sukuna's using like 10 Shadows, like I think he used the rabbits for a little bit. It was cute, right? Like Megumi, when he was using it, was like, okay, this is cool. Like it was a very novice thing he's using in season 1 and season 2. But all Sukuna's using when he's fighting Gojo is Maharaga, like from the 10 Shadows. I think off of the back of Maharaga alone, I gotta give it 5. So that's where I'm kind of going.
100%. Though I do just want to say before we go into the next one, the 10 Shadows are much more useful when used with each other than when they're just used alone. For example, like the rabbit's able to cover up the bull's weakness because the bull can only move in a straight line, but the more it moves, the stronger it gets. So they're used much better when together than when alone. It's just Megumi is really bad at using them together.
Yeah, he's actually not hard with it. It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your 4 looking like?
My 4, this one will be a bit controversial. Cleave and Dismantle is my number 4. Like, Cleave and Dismantle as a curse technique is really good, especially Cleave due to its ability to adjust to whatever it's fighting, like its cursed energy levels. And it's just very powerful, and it's going to wipe out 98% of people if your name is not Maharaga, who can just tank it through adaption, or your name is not Gojo, who can just heal it off. Yeah, it is killing most people.
At 4, I have Star Rage. I guess to give a whole overview, she's just basically allowed to add virtual mass to herself. I mean, seeing what she was able to do against Geto overall, if it weren't for Kenjaku's ability and all the crazy like knowledge that he had, she would have put him in the dirt. Obviously with the addition of Chozo and whatnot. But I don't know, I feel like
even then, if it wasn't for Kenjaku having an open barrier domain, he would have died. Exactly. Like he literally saw after his arm got torn off, man was just like, okay, domain. I have no other option. I ain't winning this without my domain.
Like it's crazy. Back in the day, Gojo and Geto were like, oh my god, we're the strongest. And I like Gojo, you got it. You Gojo, you're always gonna get it. But Geto, yeah, that nigga was not number 2.
Alright, so my number 3 is Mahito's ability of idle transfiguration. Purely because 98% of people lose to this technique. Because as soon as it touches you, well, not as soon as it touches you, because if you're a strong enough sorcerer, then you can resist it, which is why it's only at number 3 for me. Because Nanami shows if you have enough cursed energy, you can subconsciously defend your own soul against it, even if you are not aware of the shape of the soul and you're not named Sukuna. You're able to defend yourself against it. So, really strong sorcerers with more than enough cursed energy are able to defend themselves against idle transfiguration and, like, need a couple of touches. The main overpowered part of idle transfiguration, for me at least, has got to be the part where you can just basically be damage immune.
Yeah, Mahito's actually tough. Like, especially early on, like, I think Shibuya, I mean, he kind of gets dropped off in Shibuya from Kenjaku, right? But still.
He gets outscaled and, like, he gets power clipped real badly.
But, yeah, at that time, it literally felt like it was literally a game of tag in which if you get touched, you're going to die. Not even almost die if it weren't for Yuji pulling up and making Sukuna save them both, right? I think that's why his domain expansion is OC, but even just without the domain expansion, just the whole idea, like we see his curse technique put Nanami in the ground, all right? It put Nobara in the ground. Like the only reason it doesn't put Yuji in the ground is basically because of Sukuna, right? Everyone culling games and before, if they're not named Gojo or Sukuna, you're getting put in the dirt. So yeah, I'm here for that. My 3 is copy. We really see most of it in JJK 0. It seems like, I don't know if there's a limit on it, but it seems like he can just copy curse techniques. Like that's gotta be up there in terms of just top 5. We're basing this video off of like curse techniques just inherently, but looking at Yuta specifically, you combine that with his insane amount of cursed energy, he's just untouchable. So like copy's gotta be top 5. So it's running at my 3.
Yeah, I'd personally put Suguru Geto's copy technique, or not copy technique, curse manipulation a little bit higher purely because just how much more versatility it offers him, and it's just you can have an army that if you were smart like Kenjaku, you can amp them all and have enough cursed energy. But I see why you would put Yuta higher. Oh, and not to get into my number 2, it is cursed spirit manipulation.
Okay.
Number 2 is cursed spirit manipulation for me, purely because you can have an army, you can tame whatever curse you want so long as you're strong enough, and you can amp them so heavily if you have the cursed energy for it. Like, Kenjaku showed the ability to amp I think it was like grade 2 in free curses, to like semi-grade 1 and grade 1 level. And if you can do that, imagine what you can do with the grade 1 level curses, and just have like a bunch of those all jumping someone at once. And it's because of like his technique, he was able to steal Mahito's ability too, so just stack that on top of it. Like, sure, it was one use, but it was a countrywide one use. And like, that's all talking without the maximum Uzumakis and the mini Uzumakis and all of that good jazz. And just, yeah, Geto's and like Curse Pure Manipulation, for very good reason, was this extremely strong technique and was able to threaten the world for a reason. There's a reason he was special grade, and it's because of that.
Shout out, the bestie of that guy in this. I don't know what people are gonna think about it, but my number 2 is Limitless. I included Limitless with 6 eyes. I know that we don't really, that's not always the case, right? Gojo's a special case, but we don't really know what either kind of look like without each other, right? So we know that every couple years you can get either, but, or, you might get either, but we don't really know what so I kind of included them as one. And I mean, just looking at Infinity and 6 eyes, it seems like if you get those 2, you're gonna be that guy, right? So 6 eyes, what we know, it helps your adaptability like insanely. It also basically makes your curse energy consumption infinitely close to 0, so you're basically never gonna run out unless you're like taxing out, like what Gojo's kind of doing currently, right? You're doing stuff that's like you probably shouldn't do in the JJK world. You're never gonna run out of curse energy. Curse technique of Limitless, like, bro, blue, red, purple, I'm naming colors, but it's literally that insane. like it's bad. Like, again, he doesn't use red that much, but red kind of like repels, right? Blue, you can make attraction on anything, so you can have people crush each other. Neutral Limitless, which is the whole thing of the distance between 2 objects can never touch, right? So that's what makes nothing able to touch Gojo. But it's even more than that too, because it's like he can control what is allowed to touch him and what's not, and then he can automatically filter it. Purple disintegrate shit on contact. We saw what it did to Toji. RP, that nigga, he was tough, but they put him in the dirt. I feel like that's your number 1, but what are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, that's 100% my number 1. Like, Limitless 6 eyes is just busted for a reason. It's because like the one drawback I could see to 6 eyes is just it constantly overworks your brain. But even then, it's like Gojo found a way around it through constant RCT, and it's just very, very busted in my opinion, because like you can erase people. Red did a lot of damage to Sukuna when it landed back then in like his domain. Blue can be used to amp your speed up and is what caused Gojo to be the fastest sorcerer. And like, it's just busted, especially with what's happening in the most recent chapter 2, which I'm gonna put spoiler here.
Oh yeah.
It allowed him to just make shadow clones of himself, or not shadow clones, it allowed him to make after images of himself full Killua on the rhythm echo type style.
Yeah, exactly. Reverse curse technique is not something that you're able to like just inherently do. Gojo's just a goat, so he can do it. If you're tough, like how Gojo was, we saw Gojo was able to constantly put up Limitless, and if you're that skilled, you are literally untouchable. But my number 1 is Comedian.
Oh, I forgot about that, yeah.
Shout out, bro, for being the most toughest sorcerer in Jujutsu Kaisen history, right? It's been stated his ability is literally relative, if not comparable, to Gojo. Anytime he thinks of something that's funny, he can make it reality.
Y'all think Gojo 6 eyes plus Limitless is strong? What if it was just funny that he didn't have it anymore? Oh,
that's
wait,
what I'm saying.
He doesn't.
Like, luckily for the JJK verse, this nigga is just completely clueless of his own curse technique, so...
Want to hear a hot take?
Yeah.
If he figured out he had his own ability, I actually think he would be not able to use his ability anymore. Purely because something would enter into his mind of, do I actually ever find anything funny, or am I just doing this for my technique? Because if you knew, for example, your jokes, that's everything you found funny got turned into an ability, would you believe anything you did was funny? Or are you just doing it for like the technique?
Imagine it becomes like that where you're like Squidward or something where nothing's funny to you. You don't have a cursing thing anymore. I'd be sick. Oh my god.
Yeah. Like, I've seen a bunch of people try and say that he'd probably be stronger with it if he knew about his technique, but I genuinely don't think he would. I think the strength comes in the fact he doesn't know.
Curse techniques are so funny because one nigga gets that and the other nigga gets Boogie Woogie, which I like Boogie Woogie. I love Boogie Woogie actually. But it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, one nigga can turn anything into reality and one nigga's just switching places with me. But I'm not gonna slander my boy Toto.
Yeah. But it was a good technique, just not top 5, you know?
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, he said just like that. No cap, no cap. That's the curse techniques, you know what I'm saying? Let us know if there's anything else you want to see from us. Obviously, Eternal Flame, was great having you on the channel, obviously.
Great being here.
We're out, so peace.
See y'all later.